16年前，他在身不由己的情况下移居到英国的一个小镇，并在这里落地生根。
When my grandma passed away, that was, for me, the worst time, the most devastating thing. 10 years she passed. I still regret not going back. That's my mom.
这位年轻的妈妈在新冠疫情期间迎接了新生命。
As a mom, I feel a lot of guilt. That's kind of the COVID effect on the kids, which is sad to see.
Been through some hard times, so tell me, brother, can we make it through the dark? When the world just falls apart, we are fearless, we are lightning, breaking through the dark.
为了寻找新加坡人，我从法国巴黎出发，再一次前往350公里以外的英国。我搭了2个小时又20分钟的 Eurostar， 终于从巴黎抵达了伦敦。现在我要去赶火车，因为我要去找一位住在这里的新加坡人。我要找的新加坡人并不住在伦敦，他的住家是在英格兰西南部一个叫 Gerrards Cross 杰拉德克罗斯的小镇。Hi, good morning. May I check with you? How do I get to Gerrards Cross?
Charing Cross.
Gerrards
Cross.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know where that is.
Oh.
You need to go to Baker Street
Okay, Baker Street.
and then change to go to Marylebone to get to Chiltern.
耶！我知道怎么去了。来，跟我走。从伦敦的国际车站，我先搭地铁，再转搭英国铁路，经过约1个小时的车程后，才抵达杰拉德克罗斯这个小镇。这里就是 Gerrards Cross 杰拉德克罗斯小镇。那根据我的情报呢，其实我要找的这位新加坡人，他并不是住在这个市中心，他的家离这里走路还要30多分钟。但是因为今天天气很好，我打算呢就慢慢的散步过去，好好的欣赏一下小镇风情。绿意处处，四周皆有名校林立的杰拉德克罗斯，据说是伦敦附近房地产最吃香的小镇之一。不知不觉，原来我已经走了30多分钟了。啊，你看这里多么的宁静！我已经走进了住宅区，鸟语花香。但是下次记得来到这种小镇一定要租车。虽然我在巴黎已经很习惯走路，但是腿有点小累，因为要上坡下坡。好了，请问35号在哪里啊？找到了。哎，这个是23 ，Sorry，35号，在这里。啊，好了，终于找到了。叮咚。Hi. Are you Noora?
I am, yes.
Oh, I'm Sharon.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. 33岁的 Noora Rashti 是名家庭主妇，在英国生活了16年的她和丈夫 Julian 有3个孩子，老大 Ezra 6岁，老二 Leah 4岁，还有最小的宝宝 Gideon 1岁。So many helmets.
Yes,
obviously.
for the kids,
Yes.
cycling, kick scooter, whatever. I'm a stickler for safety. And then this is kitchen and eating area, which is all open, so this is where we spend most of our time as a family. Sitting area,
TV room.
adult TV room. This is what I call the jail.
Whoever
but it's more
misbehaves.
No, it's more when I'm cooking and I need Gideon in one place.
Noora 在中四欧水准会考后，就跟着妈妈、姐姐、姐夫以及年仅4岁的妹妹搬到英国去。
I just turned 17.
Why did you decide to move to the UK?
Wasn't my decision. I had no choice. I didn't want to come. Completely honest, I didn't want to come. I was 17, friends, family, all in Singapore. My mum was doing her masters, and then my elder sister and her husband were doing their degrees.
Okay.
So they were all coming. I was obviously 17, so I had no choice, still a minor. And I had a 4-year-old sister.
No choice.
Yeah, so I came to do my A-levels here.
Yeah.
If anything, I get my degree, then we all go back. That obviously didn't happen.
或许是命中注定 ，Noora 在来到英国3个月后，便遇见了她的人生伴侣。
Oh my god! Okay, so university romance.
Well, pre-university, pre-U, it was like A-levels. I was 17, he was 18, he's a year older. I mean, was a lot of the reason why I stayed.
聊着聊着，不知不觉已经到了下午3点半，学校下课的时间。Noora 马上就要出发了。对，其实我们现在要出门了。虽然我刚刚才抵达他的家，因为我们没有时间，我们要去学校接2位小朋友下课。
Let's go, I'll hit the road with you. Let's go.
身为全职妈妈 ，Noora 的每一天都是围绕着孩子们。由于家里没有其他帮手，每当她出门的时候，也总得带着1岁的 Gideon 一起出动。
Hi, Leah. Can you get in the car?
Leah has her snacks, yogurt. Hi,
Hi, baby. Let's just say hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, Harry. Mama, I'm done with my spelling.
Oh, how was your spelling test?
So I got 32 out of 30.
No, so you got 30 out of 32. Oh no, but look, you got 32 out of 32 for the butterfly. You got it all right. 5. You got 1 wrong in your weekly.
我很常看到，就是父母放学的时候问小朋友功课怎么样啊，有没有做好功课啊，上课怎么样，老师好不好？通常我听到的小孩子的反应都只是一个字，就是啊好，没事，好，就是 OK。可是这2个小孩子一看到妈妈，就很多的描述课程里发生什么事情，运动发生什么事情，还有得奖的事情，他们都很会表达他们自己的思想。
So we cancelled it, so I didn't have.
Sorry. Who are you? Where's Leah? Leah. Oh. It's you.
It's just a wig.
It's just a week.
我开始发现，作为一名家庭主妇 ，Noora 的生活单子一点都不轻松。我们到家才不过30分钟，现在又要出发了。
我们又要赶场了，我们要去 karate 上课，哈哈哈哈！
其实 Noora 和许多新加坡妈妈一样，除了监督孩子在学校的功课外，也替他们安排了一系列的校外活动，所以他们一天的行程都是排得满满的。
Ready, 1 punch. 2, yeah. Good.
By the time Astro reached the spaceship,
Having grown up in Singapore, I try to take the good that I learned about being hardworking and stuff like that, and try to instill it in them, and make sure that they kind of have an all-rounded, that they do sports and they do study and stuff like that. So I think that for me was a very good way of instilling discipline and respect.
he listened to Olivia's stories.
Yeah, let's go upstairs and have dinner, okay?
Certificate.
Come, let's go this way.
妹妹 Leah 下课后，现在轮到哥哥 Ezra 上课。Noora 就趁机让女儿先在这里用餐。
Now I know what you mean. The way you plan your time,
Yeah.
very clever.
Yeah, because like Ezra has
Right.
to get his reading done
And then he doesn't eat yet.
because his bedtime is about an hour after hers. So she will have to eat here. She gets home, brush his teeth, go straight to bed. Whereas Ezra will get to eat and kind of chill a bit.
我今天呢，其实就跟 Noora 跟她一起体验了她一天的生活。那其实我只是跟她一起度过她的半天，但是你们也看到，我从一进门一跟她见面开始，我就一直没有坐下来过。她把一天这么忙碌的、这么复杂的工作行程，就是3个小孩子的生活排得这么的有条理。所以我们说，我们女孩子真的有些时候真的是很了不起。
It's for your dessert, right?
现在呢是早上7点整，我为什么7早8早就来 Noora 家？因为你看他们的灯已经亮了，他们肯定呢一家5口已经起身要开始他们的日常行程了。Today,
You gotta wake up, baby.
good morning, Leia.
Did you get up? It's morning.
And that's exactly the house.
住在英国杰拉德克罗斯小镇的新加坡人 Noora Rashti 是3个孩子的妈妈。
Ezra, 1 or 2?
What?
Do you want another one of something else?
Chocolate spread.
Okay, do you want both toasted?
Toasted.
Ezra loves Kaya.
He does. Yakun kaya?
哎呀呀
It's his favorite.
Ezra, I love Kaya too.
学校早上8点半上课 ，Noora 在6点钟天还没亮就得起床开始为一天做准备。不过让我好奇的是，来了许久却不见她丈夫的踪影。
Where's Julian?
He's at work, so he leaves.
At London. Far away.
Dramatic. He leaves home around 5:45.
That's early.
Yeah. So he starts work at 7, so that he can end at 4, so that he can come back and see the kids.
丈夫上班，家中的大小事务也因此得由 Noora 一个人完成。但是今天 Noora 的家还来了一位帮手。
Hello, good morning. Hi.
Oh,
you must be-
It's my dad.
Hi.
Ooh, yay! That means I get Gideon off me for a while.
Oh, Gideon.
Noora 的父亲在印尼经营一家公司，所以无法长期和家人定居在英国。
Where do you live?
I'm more based in Indonesia, Jakarta.
Okay. How often do you fly back to the UK?
Normally 1.5 months, 2 months I'll be back.
So I've had to learn how to like.
在新加坡，至少在我周围所认识的朋友当中，大家都有很多的帮助。那在这里，我看到 Noora 的育儿方法呢，完全就是她亲力亲为。她从一早孩子们的早餐开始，到一天晚上的结束，到照顾老公的饮食起居，全部都是她一个人包办。
不过今天 Noora 有爸爸在家里助阵，而老大、老二都在学校上课，所以这位妈妈可以暂时透一口气。
So Noora, you arrived in UK when you were 17, but within 3 months, you met the man of your dreams.
Yes.
Julian.
Yeah. When I met him, he was a very, very shy boy. So I saw him, sat next to him, and he ran away. So that was our first encounter. It took him like a month and a half before he would say anything to me.
虽然来自不同的种族和文化背景，这对小情侣在交往4年后步入了婚姻的殿堂。不过，当 Noora 和丈夫决定要组织家庭的时候，却面对另一个挑战。
We had issues conceiving. I had to take certain medication to trigger ovulation, basically.
When he was finally born, how did it feel to hold your baby the first time in your arms?
literally like love at first sight. There's like no other way to kind of really describe it. I don't think there's anything else that feels like holding a child.
老二 Leia 2年后也顺利诞生，但是身为人母的 Noora 却面对了人生中的另一次挑战。
The month before she turned 2, she got the flu and pneumonia, which became sepsis, and then she was in the hospital in total for about 2 weeks. So it was a really tough time. You know, tubes everywhere, kind of up her nose, in her arm, and stuff like that. And she's so small. She was so small. Thankfully, she's fine now, and kind of we got through it. And
So about 2-3 years later, we have Gideon.
yeah, and then his ended up being kind of the most stressful because we had like some issues in the beginning, and then I had to be on complete bed rest for the first trimester. And then when I hit my second trimester, so this was February, so COVID had already kind of started.
由于当时英国正处在冠病疫情的高峰期 ，Noora 怀胎10月的大部分时间都是在封城中度过。虽然大腹便便，她还是得提起精神娱乐2个在家中闷得发慌的孩子。
It's tiring, but I enjoy every minute of it. I want to be the person who takes care of my children. I enjoy taking care of them. I enjoy watching them grow up. A lot of people always say, like, oh, I'm so happy the kids go back to school and stuff like that. I actually really enjoyed having the kids during lockdown. It was very important to me that I was very hands-on with my kids.
Noora 当一个母亲，她当得非常的乐观，而且非常的喜悦。所以我们在她周围生活的时候，在她周围一起活动的时候，都能够感受到她这一副正能量。
Where are we going now?
Going to this Thai restaurant?
Are we meeting your friends?
Yeah, so a few other moms from Leah's class is going to meet us here.
由于是全职妈妈 ，Noora 的社交圈主要也是围绕在孩子的生活圈子。
We met last year.
Yeah, only last year. Yeah, and the first part of our friendship was in lockdown.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
What was it like to be locked down with your children?
I was 6 months pregnant with my daughter when lockdown started. So I was quite pregnant, and Saib's quite an active child. It was quite difficult to keep up with him, so it was hard work.
We were all trying to organise coffee mornings or whatnot, and most of them in the end, after the first, what was it, like month or 2? Had to be done over Zoom and stuff.
Yeah, and I think having a support group to go through motherhood, is very important.
And I think it's also nice because we all come from such different backgrounds.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's really good for the kids to see people from all kinds of different backgrounds and see that you can all get along.
午餐后，我随着 Noora 去接小朋友放学回家。户外的这个神奇乐园，可是 Noora 在封城期间自己动手为孩子们搭建的。虽然 Noora 在疫情期间对孩子的生活起居似乎都应付得很好，但是作为妈妈的她，看着孩子在新冠的阴霾中成长，内心还是有所感触。
As a mom, I feel a lot of guilt. Like when Ezra was born, there was a party. We had about 150 people at my mother-in-law's house for this party. And, and then when Gideon was born, we had 30 people on Zoom. You do feel guilt as a mom, like even like birthday parties, we had to cancel Leah's. Leah didn't have a birthday party at the start of 2021 because we went back into lockdown. And because we were so cautious because I was pregnant, when we finally started to go into shops again, they would be outside. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to go in. Can I go in? That's kind of the COVID effect on the kids, which is sad to see. I'm just hoping now we've kind of turned the corner. Because even with the kids, they have a lot of anxiety about it. Like Leah goes, oh, is coronavirus still around? I'm like, yeah, it's never going to go away. You know, try and get kind of the heads around that.
Do you want to look at family photos?
That's my grandma.
I can tell from this photo you two are very close. When was this picture taken?
在疫情之前 ，Noora 每2年都会回国探望新加坡的亲友，但是疫情爆发以来 ，Noora 已经3年没有回到新加坡了。
You know, I still have my dad's parents, and I don't think they've dealt with COVID very well. So they've been kind of in and out of the hospital. We've had kind of calls like, actually, my grandma is on a critically ill list at the moment. My dad is obviously overseas. My aunt lives in Paris as well. And then now that they've announced the lane, I think that they'll have an opportunity to go back and see her, hopefully in time.
这个整个疫情对每一个人的影响都很不一样。在这段期间，我也没有那么的迫切的必须要回去新加坡。他不一样，他担心他家里的爷爷跟奶奶。今天真的感受得到，在这个非常疫情时期，一方面你思乡，你想念家里的一切食物、亲朋戚友、环境，但是另外一方面，你也不能够这么自由的旅行。那这种困难，我终于第一次的就是亲自的接触到。
回到家后 ，Noora 就马不停蹄准备晚餐，而我就充当孩子们的临时保姆。
Oh, I have my get out of jail card. Okay, now it's your turn.
Okay. Now it's your co-producer's turn.
下午5点钟 ，Noora 的丈夫 Julian 终于风尘仆仆地从伦敦赶回家，为的就是不错过和孩子们共进晚餐的时间。
Hello, hi. You okay? Yeah, good. Oh my god, it smells nice.
Oh, Dad is back. Hello.
Hi. Are you playing a board game?
We're playing Monopoly.
Yeah, cool.
Okay. Now it's your co-producer's turn.
凌晨5点就离家上班的他，看起来仍然精神奕奕。
Ezra, come on, Sandy.
So, Julian, so you have no me time. You don't have free time for yourself.
No, I have my time on the train. The train is like half an hour, and I have a whole lunch hour. So no, it's fine actually. That's more than her me time. I think she's like non-stop all day.
I was going to ask who has it harder, but
I think she has it a lot harder. Yeah. She's like non-stop with him. He's intense.
刚开始以为说他们结婚了这么多年了浪漫已经过去了哈 ，honeymoon 过去了，可能现在就感情冷淡，其实完全没有。Noora 就一直赞她的老公多么的努力为家庭奔波。然后刚才我问老公那你没有自己的时间怎么办？他说其实跟 Noora 比起来，他已经是很轻松了。其实我们都知道，我们看在眼里，2个人都不轻松，但是2个人因为孩子们这么的幸福快乐，他们也那么的感觉上生活很充实。
Julian 来自伊拉克，他们一家在70年代以难民的身份来到英国，安身立命。
My maternal side is Arab, and that's the side that I'm closer to. And his family is obviously from Iraq. So culturally, actually very similar. It's one of those weird things you would expect, probably, that there might have been conflict or whatever, but it was just, because culturally we were so similar, everybody just kind of got on.
What occasions do you celebrate together? Or festivals?
We do like Hanukkah, Eid.
Yeah. Oh, Hari Raya in Singapore.
Hari Raya.
Is there?
I love Hanukkah. Why do you love? What is it about Hanukkah? What about you love?
Because we get 8 presents every day.
No, you get 1 present a day.
No.
For 8, you get 8 presents, but you get 1 a night. One each night.
That's true. Your mom.
我今天终于亲眼目睹了2个来自不同种族文化背景的年轻人，在英国这个大熔炉里一起建立家庭的温馨画面。
Okay.
Good night, darling. Good night. Good night.
16年前跟随家人来到英国杰拉德克罗斯小镇的 Noora， 今天约了姐姐 Dina 和妹妹 Sarah 一起到超市购物。我们现在到了超级市场，我们要大采购接下来2-3个星期的食材。来，跟着我们走。Oh my God, this is like Disneyland
for groceries.
Yes. Oh my God! Fruit cake!
You should check out the pastries over there.
Oh la la!
That's like boxes of croissants.
姐姐 Dina 和丈夫有2名孩子，而今年20岁的妹妹 Sarah 则和母亲同住。由于她们的住家都距离不远，所以3姐妹每个星期都会相约到附近的批发超级市场，为3个家庭成批购物。
We're not allowed.
Oh, now I know what you mean. She wants everything.
I just wanted to say it's too big.
She's pretending to ignore you.
今天我终于看到 Noora 年轻的一面了。她跟她姐妹交流的时候，你是看到她非常调皮的一面。那我就是独生女嘛，今天跟他们一起去购物而已，我都觉得啊，我多么希望呢，我也是有像他们这样子姐妹情深的兄弟姐妹。
Luckily, she didn't say no. No.
看我们找到什么？红毛丹。Dina 的女儿最爱吃红毛丹，所以我们买了2盒。好，我们回家分。其实我们买了这么多食材是有原因的。Noora 的妈妈早已经在家里等着为我们烹煮一道家乡美食。那其实今天的主厨呢，其实是 Noora 和 Dina 的妈妈。妈妈 Hello, I'm Sharon.
I'm Sharon.
Hello, how may I address you?
I'm Mahani.
Mahani. So today you're going to be cooking something special for all of us.
It's quite common in Singapore. Ayam masak merah.
Ayam
Ayam cooked in a red sauce.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And we're having this, my favorite ever. It's actually tofu where we cook with tauco, you know?
Tauco,
Yeah,
yes,
okay,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
My mom would cook for me every time when I used to go back home to Singapore to see her.
原来 Noora 的母亲是新加坡先人兼慈善家塞奥马阿育尼的第7代后人。或许是遗传了先辈的冒险精神，她当年为了考取人类学硕士学位，带着3个女儿来到英国。由于先生在印尼有生意，所以他出远门时，3个孩子的起居饮食也都是由马哈尼一手包办。今天我在 Noora 的家，终于见到她母亲马哈尼的庐山真面目了。我真的的确觉得她就是标榜着我们现代女性的模范。她活到老学到老。她说她现在忙着学生物动力园艺，所以她从来没有让她自己歇下来的一刻。
I'm an eternal student, really. My grandmother and her mother, my great-grandmother, was also working through a lot of their older lives, you know.
And now you are going to be the role model for your grandchildren.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yes, yes. What were the other challenges that you face as a newcomer into a foreign community and culture?
Initially, the challenges were for my kids. You know, in Singapore, 24/7 you can get anything around. You can go to 7-Eleven. When we first moved to Gerrards Cross in 2005, there's no such thing as you know, wanting to meet up for supper late. So they face those kinds of challenges. And for me, it's more the food-wise, in the sense that to get some of the things that we enjoy about Singapore food.
Right.
But now it's a lot better. But back in 2005, I remember it was Hari Raya, you know. I wanted to make rendang. So most of the halal meats, they have lamb, but they don't have beef.
And raunchy, this is really not my thing.
Okay.
经闻到了家乡的感觉。Stop! Oh my god! I want to cry. It's so good.
You can get tofu in France, right?
Tofu, yes. I have to go to the Chinese supermarket. Yes.
两位女儿其实她们虽然口中不说，看得出她们都很敬佩她们妈妈，而且她们关系真的很好。她们也不让她妈妈只是照顾孩子，就是照顾孙子，没有。Noora 说，她就要让她妈妈继续的独立，继续过着自己想要的生活。
I'm not such a typical Singapore grandmama, not like what my mother used to be, because I do have my own life. Like they say, you've got to consider yourself lucky that you don't have to babysit like other grandmamas.
I want my mom to enjoy her life. You know, she's raised the four of us, right? I don't want her to feel like she has to give something up because she has to take care of my children.
Yes, darling.
There are a lot more opportunities for her here to learn things and do things that she wasn't able to when she was younger. And I just want her to pursue anything that she wants.
我们可以开饭了，耶 ！It's time to eat. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I mean, it eases the homesickness. But I think being Singaporeans, food is so important.
Yes.
You know? And you take it for granted when you live in Singapore.
Yep.
Like, I really like putu piring. I don't know if you know what putu piring is.
Putu piring. We need that.
Yeah, you need that, exactly. You need that. You can't make it without that.
I miss the one in Geylang.
Yeah, the one in Hague. Yeah.
That's the one.
You get like you go back to Singapore, it's a packet of 5 for what? $2?
$2 for a packet of 5.
You know, and then even if you wanted to recreate it here, it would probably cost like
It might cost you
10 times more.
Yeah.
so much more.
It will not have the same effect.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Wherever we go, if we can eat our favorite comfort food, we don't feel that lonely or that sorrowful.
而对 Noora 来说，离乡背井这么多年，除了思念新加坡的美食，最难熬的莫过于对亲人的牵挂。
I think this is preparations for Hari Raya. I think we were stuffing the ketupat. Basically, how my family celebrates Hari Raya is we will go to my great-grandma's house first thing in the morning. And then the first night is at my grandma's house.
Okay.
So then everybody would come to my grandma's house. And she would always cook laksa joho. Yeah, which is one of my kind of favorite dishes. My maternal grandparents kind of helped to raise me when my mom and dad were working. When they were still alive, for me, it was very much, I want to go back, I want to go back, I want to go back. And then they passed away. So then I think after that point, it became it's all right, we'll just stay. Because it's so easy when you're so far away to just forget that time has passed.
Yeah.
It was flying back that first time, landing, and then normally when I land, the first thing I do is go and see her. And it's like, I can't do that. That was, for me, the worst time, the most devastating thing. And then you have so much guilt from being away and not coming back. You know, it was really, really hard. Until 10 years she passed. I still regret everything, not going back. Really, really hard for me. Because she raised me.
And you would have loved for her to at least meet your beautiful children.
My biggest regret is that they never got to meet.
You know, I always believe that, you know, they are somewhere up there with the stars. In fact, they are one of the stars, watching over the children.
Definitely, definitely.
离开新加坡16年 ，Noora 在英国结婚生子，过了她的大半辈子。这个面积不到11平方公里的小镇，也渐渐地成为了她的第2个家。
So this is just kind of like one of the streets off the high street. That's the guide headquarters. It's a hall, so you can book it out for birthdays and stuff. So we've had Ezra's birthday there, Leah's like some of the birthdays there. They have monkey music there, so I brought Ezra when he was younger, and then I brought Leah, and now I bring Gideon.
Wow, so for the past 16 years, this is the little town that you live in?
Yeah. As a youngster, we would go elsewhere, basically. There's no nightlife here or anything like that.
Right.
But now that I have family and kind of older and it's not about just going clubbing. You know, so you quite like, there's some really nice restaurants and stuff like that on the high street. The Italian restaurant, Di Paolo. So you see 5 windows, right?
Right.
Left 2, that's where mine and Julian's first apartment was after we got married. And then those 3 windows, my sister, her husband, and my niece, they had that flat. So we stayed here together for about 2.5 years, I think. My niece really loved their bolognese.
Right.
And my sister ordered for her party, you know. And when we came to pick it up, they were like, no, we're not going to charge you. Just, you know, they gave us like platters of food and they were like, it's fine, it's for her first birthday. I think that whole village kind of spirit is one of the nice things about staying here. There's so many different places in this town that has different meaningful memories for us.
So, Noora, Gerrards Cross is home to you now, right?
It is definitely. But Singapore is always home in your heart, you know.
Yes,
and
yes.
This won't take that place.
Because I witnessed something very moving. One day, Ezra was just very adamant that he is also a Singaporean.
Singaporean by blood. You're Singaporean inside. That's what matters.
You know, he hasn't visited Singapore that often.
Yeah.
But what made him feel so bonded to our country?
I think, you know, we do see a lot of family. And I always talk about that a lot. And I do bring it up in the sense that this is my background, which is also your background, it's your heritage. Leah likes to say, I'm from everywhere. Like, you know, I'm a mix of everything, which I like. And I like also that they know where they come from.
I'm on my way. We're in for it. Oh, and that's okay.
我在英国西南部的一个小镇，和在这里落地生根的新加坡妈妈 Noora 度过了几天。在我离开之前，我要为她准备一份特别的午餐。
我是准备要煮泡泡茶给他们喝啦，因为我知道 Noora 很喜欢喝泡泡茶。
虽然她人不在新加坡，但让很多国人趋之若鹜的泡泡茶，竟然也是 Noora 的心头好。
我这次要比较小心一点，因为上次我自己煮珍珠呢，煮到那个锅子烧焦。我这次真的不可以把别人的厨房弄糟了啊！我要不停的这样子搅拌它。
我记得 Noora 跟我说过，她最怀念的一道菜就是她外婆生前在开斋节期间会烹煮的一道传统马来料理 Laksa Johor 柔佛乐沙。所以我今早特地到伦敦的一家马来餐厅外带了这道料理。
Are you guys hungry already?
Yeah, we could eat.
You
Yeah.
can eat. Gideon, are you ready to eat? Yeah. Okay, you're already eating this. Good. Your fine dining is ready.
Thank you so much.
For the icing on the cake, sambal belacan.
The most important part.
And the most important thing.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Do you know what you're eating?
Laksa Johor.
Laksa Johor.
Yeah.
Yes. Because you told me you miss this dish. Does it taste anything like how you remember it?
Yeah, it's very similar. The one that we make, that the gravy is thicker. When was the last time we had this? Has Mama cooked it since 2018?
I think she has. She somehow got the ingredients, like the exact leaves and stuff.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah.
What was the last time we had it? I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
其实我真的觉得很开心，有这个机会，因为他们这几天呢对我的照顾无微不至，所以我只想让他们小两口能够很安静、很安心的坐下来一起吃晚餐。
So what's for dessert?
Dessert is bubble tea.
Ah, I love bubble tea.
Would you want milk tea or fruit tea?
Maybe fruit?
Fruit.
Yeah?
Okay,
fruit. Yeah.
Fruit tea is the best because it's easier to prepare.
Yes.
我还准备了他喜欢喝的泡泡茶。来，那个糖在哪？哎呦，对，我要加这个。总之，我今天是第一次准备了，闹了很多玩笑。Wait, let me read again my recipe.
Okay.
I'm sorry. But the way I'm preparing this drink, you might get to drink it tomorrow morning.
重点是准备出来哦，卖相很好哎。
There's a black color.
而且我看他们喝着喝着很开心，原来他们也是很久没有喝了，所以这一点我觉得，哎，自己有点小小的成就。Thank you for inviting me to your place where you grew up with.
Yes.
Right? Hello, Ezra.
每逢星期五和家人共聚晚餐是 Julian 的家庭习俗。
So it's actually family bonding.
Yes.
Over a Friday night, get together over good food, good
Yeah.
local cuisine.
Yeah. So we're doing Middle Eastern cuisine.
Yay! I found familiar faces.
Well, we come here quite often. They're very kind to always invite us, and it's lovely food, so we are very willing to come.
And we finally meet your daughters, Selma and Mia. Hello.
So this is lamb. This is beef sausage. Yellow rice with meat and vegetables.
Uncle Buddy is scrutinizing,
Yes.
checking if you've said the right thing.
Yes. And then this is the bread. The challah, yes.
And it's in E, alphabet
It's in
E.
E, yes.
E for Ezra.
Yes.
今天正巧也是 Ezra 的7岁生日，亲戚们都齐聚一堂为他庆祝。
Something from Singapore.
Ah. SQ tickets? Oh, look at that. Look, you know that is...
Look.
Habib, that's me. It's Dina's wedding.
That was Jida, Habib, Nenek Datuk's
50th. How did you get these pictures?
I have my resources.
So you
I
researched?
hunted down one of your very closest ally.
I need to get this photo from him.
Yeah,
I love this
This is a
photo.
lovely photo.
It looks like Gideon, though.
Yeah.
It does look like Gideon.
Really nostalgic.
在这个星期的《西游记》里，我走入了 Noora 的生活，体验了当一名妈妈的辛劳。
Help.
当许多同龄人士在为事业、理想打拼的当儿 ，Noora 却毅然把青春都奉献给了家人和孩子。
Personally, like I don't feel like I'm sacrificing anything to take care of them. I don't feel like they owe me anything, you know, as they grow up or anything like that. I love taking care of them. I love watching them grow up.
So if you have to sum up motherhood in just one sentence, what would it be?
It's like running a marathon, but also on like the best roller coaster ever.
Bye, Gideon. Bye bye. Bye. You will come visit me? Will you come? You will. You will see me. Hopefully one day we might all meet again in Singapore.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Right? Right?
You and me, let's paint the stars, sail a ship and travel far away from here. You and me will carve a path to places we could not imagine we would know, that we could go.